Hello, welcome to Garden Masterclass on our YouTube channel. My name is Annie Guilfoyle and together with Noel Kingsbury we run the Garden Masterclass programme. This has been running for about 4 years. It's an educational programme and ordinarily we run events all over the British Isles and mainland Europe in gardens and nurseries, but this year of course we've had to do a lot of work online. And here we are in the beautiful garden of Derry Watkins, very close to Bath. And the reason we're filming here today is it's an unusual circumstance because Noel Kingsbury and myself are in the same country at the same time, and we thought this would be a really good opportunity to tell you about ourselves and what we do. So I'm going to hand over to Noel in a little while, but just so that you know a little bit more about us, I'm a garden designer. I live in West Sussex. I teach at Great Dixter, a very well-known and wonderful garden in East Sussex, and at West Dean. And for 18 years I was the garden design or the director of KLC School of Design. Since 2016, myself and Noel Kingsbury have been running Garden Masterclass. These are live educational events set in the most beautiful gardens, nurseries and other venues all over the British Isles and into mainland Europe. Our audience are generally from a professional capacity of garden designers, landscape architects and very keen garden owners. And we also produce pay-to-view webinars which are recorded, and you'll find those on our Vimeo channel, and if you just look up for Garden Masterclass you'll find them there.
Hello, my name is Noel Kingsbury and I write about plants and gardens for books and magazines. I've also done a lot of research over the years, particularly into the long-term performance of garden plants. I've got a background though in adult education, and so I've always been really interested in how we communicate what we find out about plants to people involved in gardening and landscape. At the beginning of 2020 we had well over 30 workshops organised in Britain, Ireland, the Netherlands and one in France and one in Germany. And of course with the COVID crisis we had to cancel or reschedule the lot. So thinking on our feet we decided to do a 5 times a week broadcast for the global garden community. We did that for 2 months, and since then we've been doing it just once a week every Thursday evening. All of those recordings then go onto our YouTube channel. And we've got many hours of great garden viewing. So now we're setting up Friends of Garden Masterclass. Members will have discounts to our webinars and to the recorded webinars, privileged invitations to special events. It will also give free access to all of our recorded material. So if you would like to see the rest of this video, then please subscribe and we'll be very glad to meet you.
I'd like to introduce Rebecca Lemonius.
Hello everybody.
Rebecca lives at Longbarn.
And Longbarn is now a Grade 2 star listed house and one of the few private listed gardens in the UK.
It is probably one of the most important gardens in the early 20th century in this country.
2 people created this garden, not just one. And their partnership was essential to the outcome. Here they are in their handsome glory, Vita Sackville-West and Harold Nicolson. Now, why did she buy this house? It had a history, so there it is in its glory. It's lined with books, very much like the big room at Sissinghurst. Even the addition of the barn didn't satisfy Vita's long legs and need for space, and the garden was begun. Sir Edwin Lutyens. He advised them on the design and layout inside as well as outside. Most notably, he solved a waterlogging problem at the bottom of the garden, advising Harold to build 6 raised beds so the plants didn't drown. In conversation with Lutyens, Harold drew up this plan on a scrap of paper. The garden here grew organically as land acquisition and time allowed. He loved classical architecture and formal lines and created a framework for Vita to fill with her plants and passion. Harold designed the garden around a strong north-south and east-west axis with focal points at either end, and there's a repetitive theme of L shapes. During World War II, it was inundated with children when Vita and Harold handed it over to the war effort, and it housed refugee children from London.
It's such a beautiful, wonderful and important story.
So this is a sketch plan of the garden as it was in Vita and Harold's time. The first obvious thing that you can see is the yews. Even in the winter, the yews in the box continue to provide a beautiful framework. And that's a view from the terrace. If it was taken from the centre, you'd see that even the north-south axis isn't completely straight. In fact, there is not a single straight line in the garden. Even the box parterres are not straight. And the inner pattern of the parterre was actually planted by Sir Brandon and Lady Sarah Goff, who lived here and carried out a really dedicated 20-year renovation of the garden. And we were very lucky we bought the house from them. So we bought the garden in very good and excellent condition. It had been lovingly looked after. In fact, even in the winter, the rose garden is very beautiful.
I think it's the most atmospheric garden I've ever been into.
This whole area, including actually the swimming pond, is left as meadow.
This is from Vita's bedroom. It's always such a treat when I come to Longbarn and Rebecca says, would you like to stay in Vita's room or one of the other rooms?
It does have this amazing atmosphere that gets under your skin.